And the sons of Israel did what was evil before the Lord, and the Lord gave them up in the hand of Midian 7 years. And the hand of Midian prevailed over Israel. And the sons of Israel made for themselves from before Midian shelters in the mountains and in the caves and the strongholds. And it came about, whenever a man of Israel put in seed, that Midian would come up, and Amalek and the sons of the east, and they would come up against him, and they would encamp against them, and they destroyed the produce of the land, until one comes to Gaza, and they would not leave support for life in Israel, even flock and calf and donkey. For they and their livestock would come up, and they would bring their tents, and they would arrive like a grasshopper in great numbers, and there was no number for them or their camels, and they would arrive in the land of Israel to waste it. And Israel was greatly impoverished from before Midian, and the sons of Israel cried out to the Lord. And it came about, when the sons of Israel cried to the Lord on account of Midian, that the Lord sent a man, a prophet, to the sons of Israel, and he said to them, This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says, I am the one who made you come up from Egypt, and I led you out of a house of slavery, and I delivered you from the hand of Egypt, and from the hand of all who oppressed you. And I drove them out from before you, and gave you their land. And I said to you, I am the Lord your God. You shall not pay reverence to the gods of the Amorite, among whom you dwell in their land. And you have not given heed to my voice. And an angel of the Lord came and sat under the oak, which was at Ephrathah, which belonged to Joas, father of Abizri, and his son Gideon was beating out wheat in a winepress, to escape from before Midian. And an angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, The Lord is with you, mighty in strength. And Gideon said to him, By me, Lord, and if the Lord is with us, why have all these evils found us? And where are all his wonders? Everything our fathers recounted to us, saying, Did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now he has cast us off and given us up in the hand of Midian. And the angel of the Lord looked at him and said to him, Go in your strength, and you will deliver Israel. And see, I have sent you forth. And Gideon said to him, By me, Lord, by what means shall I deliver Israel? See, my 1,000 is more lowly in Manasseh, and I am insignificant in my father's house. And the angel of the Lord said to him, The Lord will be with you, and you shall strike down Midian as you would one man. And Gideon said to him, And if I have found favor in your eyes, and you will perform a sign for me, that it is you who speak with me, do not stir from here until I come to you, and I will bring my sacrifice and place it before you. And he said, I am he, I will stay seated until you return. And Gideon entered and prepared a goat kid and unleavened cakes from an ophih of wheat flour, and the meat he placed in the breadbasket, and the broth he poured into a pot, and brought it out to him under the oak, and did obeisance. And the angel of the Lord said to him, Take the meat and the unleavened cakes, and put them by that rock, and pour out the broth. And he did so. And the angel of the Lord reached out the tip of the rod that was in his hand, and touched the meat and the unleavened cakes, and fire ignited from the rock, and consumed the meat and the unleavened cakes. And the angel of the Lord departed from his sight. And Gideon perceived that it was the angel of the Lord. And Gideon said, Ah, Lord, Lord, for I have seen the angel of the Lord face to face. And the Lord said to him, Peace be to you, do not be afraid that you will die. And Gideon built an altar there to the Lord, and called it, Peace to the Lord, it being still at Ephrathah of Ezri's father to this day. And it came about in that night that the Lord said to him, Take your father's fattened calf, the 7-year-old one, and you will pull down the altar of Baal, that is your father's, and cut down the sacred grove that is beside it. And you will build an altar to the Lord your God, who appeared to you on the peak of this Mount Maoz, in proper order, and you will take the calf and offer up a whole burnt offering with the wood of the sacred grove that you shall cut down. And Gideon took 13 men from among his slaves, and did as the Lord had told him. And it came about, since he was afraid of his father's household and the men of the city, so as not to do it by day, that he did it by night. And the men of the city arose early in the morning, and see, the altar of Baal broken down, and the sacred grove beside it cut down, and the fattened calf offered up for a whole burnt offering, on the altar that had been built. And a man said to his fellow, Who has done this deed? And they were searching and seeking, and they said, Gideon, son of Joash, did this deed. And the men of the city said to Joash, Bring out your son and let him die, because he has broken down the altar of Baal, and because he has cut down the sacred grove beside it. And Joash said to the men who were arrayed against him, Are you now acting as judges for Baal, or are you delivering him? He who has sought judgment against him shall die by morning. If he is a god, he will exact justice from him, because he has broken down his altar. And in that day he called it Baal's court of justice, because he pulled down his altar. And all Midian and Amalek and the sons of the east gathered together, and crossed and encamped in the valley of Jezreel. And a divine spirit entered Gideon, and he sounded with a horn, and called out for Abiezer after him. And he sent out messengers throughout all Manasseh, and he himself called out after him. He also sent out messengers in Asher, and in Zabulon, and in Naphtali, and they went up to meet him. And Gideon said to God, If you are delivering Israel by my hand, as you have spoken, see, I am laying a fleece of wool on the threshing floor. And if there is dew on the fleece alone, and there is dryness over all the ground, then I shall know that you are delivering Israel by my hand, as you have spoken. And it was so. And Gideon rose early the next morning and squeezed the fleece, and the dew flowed out of the fleece, a full basin of water. And Gideon said to God, Let not your anger be aroused against me, and I will speak one more time. I will make trial with the fleece one more time. And let there be dryness only on the fleece, but over all the ground let there be dew. And God did so in that night. And there was dryness on the fleece only, but over all the ground there was dew. And Jerubbaal, he is Gideon, rose early, and all the people that were with him, and encamped beside the land of Erod. And the camp of Midian and Amalek was north of him, away from the hill of Abor in the valley. And the Lord said to Gideon, The people with you are numerous, so I will not give up Midian in their hand. Israel would only boast against me, saying, My own hand has delivered me. And the Lord said to him, Do proclaim in the hearing of the people, saying, Who is faint-hearted and fearful? Let him return home. And 22,000 quickly set out from Mount Galaad, and returned home from the people, and 10,000 remained. And the Lord said to Gideon, The people are still numerous. Take them down into the water, and I will test them for you there. And it will be that anyone whom I say to you, This one shall go with you, he shall go with you. And anyone of whom I say to you that he shall not go with you, he shall not go with you. And he brought the people into the water. And the Lord said to Gideon, Everyone who laps from the water with his tongue as if a dog laps, you shall put him to one side. And everyone who kneels down on his knees to drink, you shall put him by himself. And the full number of those that lapped with their tongue was 300 men. And all the rest of the people knelt down on their knees to drink water. And the Lord said to Gideon, With the 300 men that lapped, I will deliver you and give Midian up in your hand. And let all the people depart, a man to his place. And they took the provisions of the people in their hand, and their horns, and he sent every man of Israel away, a man to his dwelling, but retained the 300 men. Now the camp of Midian was below him in the valley. And it happened in that night that the Lord said to him, Get up, go down quickly from here into the camp, for I have given it up in your hand. But if you fear to go down, you and your young servant Pharaoh go down into the camp, and you shall hear what they say, and afterward your hands shall be strengthened, and you shall go down into the camp. And he went down, he and his young servant Pharaoh, within the bounds of the 50 in the camp. And Midian and Amalek and all the sons of the east had encamped in the valley like a grasshopper, in great numbers, and there was no number for their camels, but they were like the sand on the seashore in great numbers. And Gideon entered, and see, a man was telling his dream to his comrade. And he said, See the dream which I dreamed, and see, a cake of barley bread was tumbling in the camp of Midian, and it came to the tent of Midian, and struck it and overturned it, and the tent collapsed. And his comrade answered and said, This is nothing other than the sword of Gideon son of Joaz, a man of Israel. The Lord has given up Midian and all the camp in his hand." And it came about, when Gideon heard the narration of the dream and its interpretation, that he did obeisance to the Lord. And he returned to the camp of Israel and said, "Get up, for the Lord has given the camp of Midian in your hands." And he divided the 300 men into 3 companies, and put horns in the hand of all of them, and empty jars and torches in the middle of the jars. And he said to them, "You will see from me and do the same. And see, I am going into the middle of the camp. And it will be that, as I do, so you shall do. And I shall sound with the horn, I and all those with me. And you also shall sound with your horns around the camp and say, For the Lord and for Gideon." And Gideon and 100 men with him entered in the bounds of the camp at the beginning of the midnight watch. However, he roused the guards with a rousing, and they sounded with the horns and shook out the jars that were in their hands. And the 3 commands sounded with the horns and broke the jars, and grasped the torches in their left hand. And in their right hand were the horns to sound, and they cried, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon." And everyone stood in his place all around the camp. And they ran, all the camp, and they gave signals and fled. And the 300 horns sounded, and the Lord set a man's dagger against his fellow, and against all the camp. And the camp fled as far as by Seta, and was pressed back as far as the edge of Abimullah, and by Tabath. And a man of Israel sounded the cry from Naphtali, and from Asher, and from all Manasseh, and they took up the pursuit after Midian. And Gideon sent messengers throughout all the territory of Ephraim, saying, "Come down to meet Midian, and seize the water for yourselves as far as Beth-barah, and the Jordan." And every man of Ephraim sounded the cry, and they quickly seized the water as far as Beth-barah and the Jordan. And they captured the 2 commanders of Midian, Oreb and Zeb, and they killed Oreb at Surin, and Zeb they killed at Yaqeth-zeb. And they pursued Midian, and they brought the head of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon from beyond the Jordan.